Start with breaking news at 5 o'clock. A Fulton County judge has set a $200,000 bond for former President Donald Trump.
And bond has also been set for the several other defendants charged in a massive RICO case tied to the Georgia 2020 election. So within the last couple of hours, we spotted Trump's attorneys heading into the Fulton County courthouse, presumably to discuss the bond conditions. We have a crew there trying to ask them questions as they walk out of that courtroom. Let's get straight to Joe Ripley. He's live at the Fulton County Jail, where all 19 of these co-defendants or these defendants will have to show up at some point this week. Joe.
That's right, Ron. Some point between now and Friday at noon. That is the deadline set by Fulton County DA Fani Willis. As a matter of fact, former President Trump's bond was just set by a judge this afternoon at $200,000, by far more than any other co-defendant in this RICO case. So these bond conditions just set this afternoon by a Superior Court judge lay out a quicker process so folks who have to come and get booked in can get out of the jail a lot faster. Fulton County Sheriff's deputies wait outside the Fulton County Jail, expecting former President Trump and 18 co-defendants listed in a RICO indictment in Fulton County to turn themselves in. 11 Alive confirmed this afternoon a judge set bond for several defendants accused of playing a role in the alternate elector scheme and providing false testimony about election fraud to Georgia lawmakers. Bond was also set for a defendant charged with copying election data and software in Coffee County.
When a court is willing to set bail or bond, it means that they have agreed that there's some amount of money that the alleged offender can pay in order to remain free.
Emory University law professor Kay Levine says the judge looks at a number of factors when determining bond, including the charges themselves.
People who have more significant resources, especially passports, and who have no significant ties to Georgia, appear to be greater flight risks than people who have fewer resources and are longstanding members of the community.
Levine says defendants who live in Georgia and don't have close ties with Trump might be considered less of a flight risk and therefore get lower bonds. The bond notice requires defendants to report to pretrial supervision every 30 days, show up to court at the given time, not break any laws, not talk about the case with any co-defendants or witnesses, or intimidate them.
All right, Joe, so some of our viewers are probably wondering, why are former President Trump's bond conditions different from the other co-defendants?
Right, so the conditions that we just laid out a moment ago, those all apply to former President Trump. The only difference in this case, Ron, is that there are some more guardrails and guidelines, if you will, when it comes to specific threats or intimidation that could be made directly or indirectly according to these filing documents, especially as it concerns former President Trump's social media. We'll get into more of that, plus why former President Trump's bond is set so significantly higher than the other co-defendants ahead at 6.
All right, Joe, we'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock. By the way, stay with the 11 Alive for the very latest breaking news updates in this case by downloading the 11 Alive News app. Just scan that QR code and download it for free.